Okay, we're now recording. So, if you aren't playing this week, you can stay in channel, obviously, but mute your or shut off your mic so you don't accidentally queue and say something, because that will frustrate people. And by people, I mean me, because I matter. So, when last we left, you guys had made it to the free Port of Alls. You had started running around, doing things. There was a large amount of intervening RP that I read through as it was available. Does anybody have things they need to say immediately in character? Does anybody have oh, Ulf, I've started a shopping list. How many of these are you going to say no to? Things of that nature.
I just want to look into getting ammo for one of the flashlock pistols. That would be my shopping list.
I do have something in my equipment and character notes that apparently never sorted out earlier.
Which is what?
It's the amount of gold that I have. The wizard has to roll a 44, then 10 gold added.
No, it's 44 and then you multiply by 10.
Okay, multiply by 10.
Yeah, just roll 44 in discussion and multiply by 10. The end. There you go, 80.
Thank you.
Uh,
Just wanted to put that so that I know it was done right.
Just reptile things. We don't have to do this now. This is more heads up to you. If there is anything in the way of wildlife, plant life, other things that, say, a hunter trapped out in the wild would eat on his own, Tursta is trying to learn what is safe to eat out here.
one of the things you come to understand in the intervening time, because like a day has passed, you guys have been here a little bit, there is very little for you to eat on this island that cannot be purchased. This island has been scoured and deprived of pretty much any kind of vegetation over a seemingly long period of time. All the green areas, or what were once green areas, are kind of brown and dead and gross. You can find very little of any great interest or note to you anywhere. There's the occasional, stray dog or, mangy, emaciated cat. But you also come to the realization that you are lucky if you catch one of those before the refugees or, the street urchins do. There is a level of relative poverty amongst those that aren't engaged in piracy or actively supporting piracy on this island that is almost staggering. As to flashlock ammunition, there is a whole lot of people not really wanting to sell you something because you don't seem to really understand what you have.
So I should try to talk Keely into coming shopping with me.
Yes.
And Keely is not playing this week, so that is a future problem for you.
I was one of the 6.
No, you were one of the 6, but you were the last one of the 6, and Tara is playing instead of you.
Ah, okay. I didn't catch that. Never mind.
I may have not made it clear. That's perfectly possible.
So then I will go shopping with her later.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
I use it anyway.
Yeah, there's a lot of people being very clearly aware that you are not local, nor are you local to the island or the realm, and that you have no idea what you have in your hand.
That's fair.
And yeah, there is a long rest. So there is the period of time where you guys socialize, you go out, you drink heavily, you come back to the warehouse and back to the glorified crates you live in. And after that point, you wake up in the morning and you kind of, some of you with a slightly thick head, some of the individuals you've been dealing with have already wandered off about their own business, and you are left kind of with the handful of people who are left behind.
Ah, yes. Another fine day.
Another fine day in hell. If you can consider this place hell.
So, what are we doing?
How long must we wait for the dwarf?
After a couple
Nice.
minutes, there is a loud rapping on the door. Get up! Get up! It's time for missions! Come along, come along, come along, come along!
Seems my question is answered.
And you can hear the thud clack of him walking away.
Perhaps one day I'll learn not to ask. I move to head out of the box that we're living in.
I follow him.
Same.
Same.
Kelly slips in behind them all.
So you kind of walk through this maze of crates, which you realize now, having been here a little longer, they're labeled with, like, locations of origin and destinations. So they'll have, like, a big packing label with that they're either from or to this place. And some of them seem to still be sealed, some of them seem to have been broken open, and, you know, whatever was delivered. And as you wind your ways, it's not really a QR code, but yeah. As you wind your way through these crates, eventually you come to another crate like the crate that your bunk room is in, which has had a man-sized door cut into one wall. And you can see light coming out through, like, the curtain that's being used to close that. And inside is a huge oak table that looks to have been carved from a single tree with a bunch of chairs, and seated at one end of it is Angus Cloudhammer with, like, a stack of paperwork.
All right, Angus. What do you have for us?
Well, take a seat, all of you. Take a seat.
Are there chairs?
Yeah, there's chairs around the table.
Okay. Then I will sit.
I look to see if there's food, which
There is
I
not.
recall being a tradition.
Well, there is, but it's the same, like, weird protein
Fungi
food
bar?
replacement bar.
So
Is
we're
it
eating
coffee?
Soylent.
You're eating crap.
I don't understand how that's different from Soylent, but
Is there a coffee facsimile on the?
Not really. That's one of the many things that is not readily available.
is there a heat source? Because I can make tea.
There is not.
There is tan nutrient paste and brown nutrient paste. You can pretend the brown nutrient paste is coffee, Bolo.
Pretty much.
Try to dissolve it in water.
Water also rare.
No,
Oh.
I won't actually try to do that.
So as you settle into seats around the table, he opens a big stack of paperwork and begins flipping pages, and he goes, "So, the Admiralty Court has contracted us, at much to their chagrin, to send a team of which you're the only team, as a note, into the tunnels to clear out an infestation therein.
Infestation of what?
What do you say?
Reports vary. However, the general supposition appears to be some form of the undead, which would be
Ghosts.
understandable because the tunnels are full of bones.
Oh, it's like being at the Watch Fortress all over again.
No better place to bury the dead.
You've
I
never
really
been
want
to
to
Watch.
stick.
You've never been to Watch Fortress, Strackhelm, so I'll let you believe that.
So, kill dead things.
Correct.
Yep.
Ghosts. Ghosts are other things.
He's going to say reports vary.
Precisely.
Yep.
Can't
Sounds
stab a
about
ghost.
right. You
Can't
can't
really
try
stab a
hard.
skeleton either.
Still not
Break
trying
their
hard
legs.
enough.
Can bash with club.
I don't have a club.
All right. I'm just going to point out, I'm certain that among the 6 of us, we have more than enough capability to handle this.
I
Yes,
crack my
probably.
neck.
Be it incorporeal or corporeal. We will, however, require directions to this infestation.
Well, it's in the tunnels, to which the only exit is near the lake, which is less of a lake, more of a pond. Cross the way, 2 leagues down.
A pond here.
Well, it was a lake once.
Is the water drinkable?
I doubt it.
Good to know.
Well, I haven't actually seen it yet, but given how things are here, I doubt it's drinkable.
Is water no one have stolen? Is probably not drinkable.
Very good point.
Exactly. Alright, Angus. We'll be off and hopefully we'll survive to come back and tell you about it.
Make better report.
Better journeys, then.
Indeed. To the tunnels! Oh, sorry, that's more of a bull
Hi-ho.
credit thing.
Hi-ho. It's off to work we go.
So yeah, you guys start winding your way through the warehouses towards where this tunnel entrance is supposed to be. And you make your way through various, narrow passages where these buildings have kind of fallen together over the years and been braced up, and it's going anywhere in Alls is kind of an exercise in clambering. You're climbing over something, you're climbing under something. There are streets that just end because 2 buildings have decided to no longer be separate. Until finally you kind of pop out into what is the sole, clear area on the island of relative size, where there is indeed a rather large hole that looks like it started its life off as a lake. But what is left is kind of a shallow pool of tepid water down a rather sizable embankment that looks kind of gross and infested with God knows what. But across the remains of a lake is a large stone. It would be a mausoleum if this was a graveyard, with a big stone door cut into it, where the door is, it's kind of, it doesn't look quite right from this distance. You can't get your fingers into the water, it's probably 30 feet down an embankment
Oh, I
to the
gotcha.
water.
My bad.
Don't touch it.
We don't know where it's been. The door, is it shut?
Yeah, and it's also, you're still probably 200 feet away from it.
So it's probably shut because people are like, undead, don't want that. Alright, well, I'm proceeding closer to the door, although I'm giving the embankment a nice, healthy berth there.
I will do this too. I really, really, really don't want to fall into that.
Kelly's gonna trip along with you, trying to look at everything all at once.
So you're crossing the distance. It's not like the ground is soft, but not soft like it's wet. Soft like as the water was leached from the region, it kind of just became that crusty, almost salt lick level of brittle. And no, you don't have any of the really heavy people. There is some dig in when you put your feet down, Krenin, but to most of you, it's pretty easy passage. Same with Honi. There is some dig in when you put your feet down. There is some sink into this.
Yeah, I'm like a hair under
Dirt.
300 pounds.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Yeah.
And because Bolo is playing that character, he is wearing armor.
Yes. Someday I'll play truly squishy caster, but it is not this day.
So as you approach this sepulcher come entranceway, it's large, it's fairly Grecian in appearance with the columns and such. And the door is actually a piece of stone that has seemingly been cut to fit and slid into this hole. And then from actually being close enough to look at it, it is covered in some kind of sigils, which you don't understand at first sight. And there are two large iron handles mounted to the door.
Knowledge
that magic?
Arcana.
Yeah, you go ahead and roll.
Ah, yes. Fine start to my evening. I roll an 8.
You're a door. It's a door. And you still have no idea what the sigils are, and they aren't in a language you understand.
Understood. Well, I don't recognize these, but I'm sure it'll come back to hurt me in the future. Hone Oaxaca, if you don't mind helping me with this.
Certainly.
There are no hinges on this, correct?
Callie, go ahead and make a perception roll for me. Or notice, whatever it's called. I can't remember. Someone correct
Perception.
me. Thank
It's
you.
perception.
Okay, give me a
Nice
second
test.
because I gotta figure out how to do that.
Unless she's actively looking, which point it would go to investigation.
Well, she said she started staring at the door, lightly tapping here and there.
Then
yeah,
it would
investigation
more
works.
appropriately be investigation.
I should have done that. I have that.
You said Arcana.
Well, yes. No, I meant for the door itself, not for the... I'm chiding myself. In my irritation at not being able to read the runes, I have decided to forget important things of life.
I'm sorry, which one's my perception modifier?
It
In
should
this case,
say in your
intelligence.
skill list.
Intelligence is a 14.
So it's plus 2. She's
Isn't she
making an
trained in
investigation
perception?
roll.
Investigation or
I'm
perception?
trained in
Investigation.
investigation. It's a plus. I've got a 4 there for investigation.
So you're going to roll, exclamation, roll 1d20 plus 5.
You're pulling her intelligence from, or her perception from intelligence.
She's
is,
rolling
wisdom?
investigation, not perception.
Ah,
he called
gotcha.
for perception originally.
Yeah, and I was corrected that it's the more applicable skill. So you're poking around. The big brawny fellas are getting ready to grab hold of these handles, and you're noticing something around the bottom edge of the door that doesn't look quite right. You can't put a
There's
finger
something
on,
at
like,
the bottom
why.
of the door here. I think we should take a closer look at it.
I stop reaching for the handle to pull it.
Is there enough space at this at the bottom of this door to get a finger into?
No. The brightness is kind of a perpetual dawn or twilight.
This is the only way in and out of the tunnels, and we know that people have been out of here.
If there's something if we push.
Would you like me push?
Is it trapped?
You don't know that.
I have no idea. It's a question. I wouldn't even know what to look for.
Alright, I at least am looking closer at the bottom of the door.
Sana and Krenin can go ahead and roll investigation for me as well.
Yay!
Between the two of you, it almost looks like when, to you, Krenin, it's some kind of green paste. It is like toothpaste level thick, and it seems to kind of be oozing out from under the door. Is nature still a skill?
Yes.
Roll that for me, Sana, and only Sana.
Ooh.
It looks definitively similar to you, to if someone was attempting to make a poultice or something and had ground plant matter in like a mortar and pestle. And if you had to guess, some kind of vine, probably one with spines, and probably one that flowered in some way.
Hanyahaka.
Yes.
Have small blade can borrow?
I carry only large blades.
Kelly slips out a small dagger and hands it to the gnome.
I'm gonna scrape up just a little bit from the leading edge of whatever it is.
Yeah, I checked. The smallest thing I would have to offer you is the tip of a javelin.
This...
It's like the consistency of like guacamole.
These plants.
That can't be right. Any sort of plant matter on this island would have been stripped long before now.
No. This is plants. Smooshed in.
Yes.
This was vines, leaves, plants.
Then that's... What I'm saying is that's wholly unnatural to the place, to its surroundings as we understand it.
No
Which means somebody
idea
left
why
it there.
here.
I mean...
Make rock slide?
Perhaps.
Perhaps we'll find the answer on the other side of this door.
I spit on my hands and start to rub them together and get ready.
Alright.
I'll wipe the dagger
We're
back.
to open this door, but everyone be ready. I would not be surprised if some of these restless undead are waiting to leap out at us.
We
I will-
bush or bolt?
Paul,
We'll back up and
Alright.
load my crossbow.
Alright, I'm guessing that I'm getting on one of these handles and you're getting on the other?
yep.
Alright,
that
let's
would
pull
be
this
my
motherfucker.
meeting.
I'm pretty sure Honiahaka has the higher skill, so give me a strength roll with
Yeah.
advantage.
Okay.
Indeed.
Nat 20.
Okay. Everyone
3 shot puts it.
everyone can make a reflex save.
Oh, God.
Honiahaka and Krenin can make it with disadvantage.
Alright,
What's a
again, I'm gonna
reflex
need
save?
help here.
I mean
Dexterity
dexterity.
save.
It used to be reflex.
What if you don't have
It is not
dexterity?
poison. If you aren't proficient in dexterity,
Oh, I can still make the save.
yes, but it's just with your dexterity bonus instead of with your proficiency bonus as well.
A 4 and a 2 from Bolo and I.
I did
Of
skip
course, it would have been an 18 otherwise. Of course. Actually, I'm not sure what I've done to upset your dice bot, but I think she's got it out for me.
Yeah, Avre hates your guts. I don't know why.
I'd say a lot of others rolls.
Okay, we're waiting on Tara's
Waiting
roll.
on me because I'm trying to figure out how to do the roll. I'm sorry.
Let me pull up your character sheet.
I'm looking at the K something that they've got in there, and I can't figure out how to get that in there.
You don't have to roll that. That's the two of them had disadvantage. Yeah, you need to roll the roll 1d20.
Plus 6, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah, and it's plus 6 because I just pulled up your character sheet.
Yeah, you want to go up. There's a box on there labeled saving throws. You want to look in there under dexterity, and that'll
She-
have the bonus for your
She
saving
used
throw.
the alternate character sheet. Hers is,
Right, the group by stat.
yeah, which is great. I love it, but you need to type roll.
Sorry.
Exclamation point. It's fine. Okay. Everyone except Callie is hit by the sudden explosion of this stone door rocketing out of its enclosure. It goes flying out towards you. You go to dive aside. You don't do so very well. And you guys are first, Honiahaka and Krenin are knocked prone. This door goes flying past them, ends up over top of them. And everybody thinks it's fine. Okay, it's just them. They got knocked down. As a literal explosion of some kind of flowering vine comes out of this hole and literally slaps people to the ground. And as this is going on, Callie drops to her belly. The vines go whipping past her to slap the rogue, or to slap the fighter to the ground. And she just kind of pops up like, okay, that could have been worse.
Kelly slowly stands up and looks around saying, "You guys okay? That was kind of cool."
No, that hurt.
Did we take any damage from that?
Nope. You just get knocked down.
Okay, thank God.
Pick myself back up.
Honiahaka, on the count of 3, we're going to push the stone off of us.
It didn't land on you. It kind of
Okay.
hit you and kept going. It's about
I
10
like
feet
that
behind you on the
plan.
ground.
I'm very
Vines.
happy you didn't take me with it.
Not just
There are
vines,
vines.
like a fuckload of vines, and that is the technical term. And they're sticking out probably 60 feet from the opening, and they just kind of came out in a flourishing, flowery explosion, and they're now kind of laying all over the general area. And there is a,
Kind of plant.
for lack of a better word, a sphincter where you could squirm through these plants into this tunnel.
They're not moving. It's just a pressure blew them out.
Yeah. Yeah?
Kelly
be
will
back in half a
carefully
second.
poke at the vines and edge towards the hole that is going into the tunnels. She's small enough to get through.
Sana will go with her. She's small enough to.
This is going to be awkward for me, this 6'4" guy.
I might be able to get through.
I don't like this at all.
Don't have much choice but to go down.
Okay, sorry about that. I'm back.
I have a
There's
bad
always a
feeling about
choice.
this.
I'm just going to make the poor one.
I will join the two other very small people in approaching the door.
I will.
If you need my
approach the
assistance,
door.
Brennan, I will push you from behind.
If we put a rope around him and we go first, we can probably yank him through.
It
I'll
is
be fine.
man-sized. You can squirm into it. It's just not going to be comfortable.
Okay.
Okay.
I will go last.
Kelly pokes her head in and then starts through.
Is there a way to tell
I-
what kind of a plant this is?
If you had nature, you could roll it.
Survival?
If you had nature, you could roll it.
Damn. No, I don't.
Sana, what kind of plants are these?
Nature. I have it.
Nature, she rolled it.
It is some kind of flowering vine. It has thorns. It is not currently in bloom. You don't have this on your homeworld. You have seen things like it. It is not dissimilar like roses or something of that nature where they grow up. But it is decidedly more... I mean, it is a vine and not a bush. It grows in long, solid, almost root-like tendrils. You don't see any visible, like, leafy patterns. There are buds where it would flower, and there are spines. You've seen things similar. There are lots of jungle-type things that are like this, but you have never seen anything, A, this big, or B, that would grow this well underground.
In my educated opinion, does this look dangerous as far as toxins or anything like that?
No, you don't think so.
Not sure. Nothing dangerous. Spiky, scratchy, not toxic.
Alright.
Uncomfortable, yes. Dangerous, no. And
Large
Sana
ones.
will follow Kali through.
Large ones
I'm-
last, I think.
I move to follow them, making sure I light one of the drift globes.
I'm going to bring up the rear and go through this whole thing last.
Yeah.
I guess
I'll
I will
go
go
before
second to
him.
last.
Oh,
I guess
I'll
I will go third to last.
So as you guys squirm through, the gnome and the
Kelly
halfling
did.
just kind of clamber through. Not even a problem. The medium-sized characters squirm through with varying degrees of difficulty. There are cuts and, like, pokey kind of wounds inflicted by the spines, by the thorny spines on this thing. but not real injuries. They're nuisance injuries. You know, it's like you poked yourself with a pin. It hurts, but it doesn't do damage. But there are, little scrapes and things like that. Honey gets it the worst. Being a barbarian and wearing basically nothing, he has more exposed skin. Nobody becomes itchy. Nobody has to make a fort save or anything like that. But you kind of pop through where these narrow down, and you kind of slide down probably 20 or 30 feet of this just green, semi-squishy, pokey mess until you fall out into what was probably once a much wider hallway, but is now full of this stuff growing along the walls and floors and ceilings.
It's like body surfing in expired pesto.
Ew.
It's a really good summation of its actual, what it feels like, actually. That's pretty close.
Nice and oily. Ugh. Do I basically look like a sewer monster by the time that we get to the bottom?
Everybody's covered in, not a slime, but you feel greasy. Like you haven't showered in several days.
Ugh.
That was fun. We should do that again.
It was fun.
No, we shouldn't.
Probably
You are
have to
free
do it in
to.
reverse to get out.
One
Do not
problem
remind
at
me.
a time.
Not think that's so much fun.
We keep moving.
Alright, I've already got a couple of questions about this. Item 1, what are these plants using for nourishment?
Well, he did say there were a lot of dead bodies down here.
You said
Bones, though, but-
bones. Also, this is clearly a recent development. So we're looking at growth like that should have taken months. I was given the impression this was days, maybe weeks.
Yeah, there are no leaves. There are buds, where it will flower, and there are thorns. But there are no leaves.
I am not nearly the nature scholar that Sana is, but I do not feel that these are natural.
Can I break off pieces of smaller section? Like if I can find a spot where one of the vines comes to an end, break off about 4 or 5 inches from the end?
You can't really break it. You have to cut it. It is not hard enough to be broken. You would have to actually cut through a section. And these vines are probably the small ones are as big around as your forearm. And the big ones are as big around as Honiahaka.
Okay, I'm not going to do it now. I'll do it as we're leaving, so I don't have to carry them with me.
So we don't anger the giant bat monster until it's time to go.
There is
I'm
only
sorry,
one way
that-
forward. This tunnel is a straight shot.
Well, Senna will back up against the wall to give Krillin room to come through.
Granted, I'm not Krillin. I'd like to do the voice.
Cranin, whatever. Bolo!
Yay! Alright, I start moving forward. How much room is there? How many abreast can we fit in this tunnel with all the plant matter in it?
2. What is everybody's passive perception?
10!
14.
13.
10.
That's just 10 plus your perception, right?
Yeah.
13.
The 2 13s and the 14. And then I need Malexia's.
My perception is -1, apparently.
Okay, so you definitely don't see it. The two 13s and the 14, the smaller vines are literally growing through the bones and skulls and stuff that are along the wall, and have actually grown like into one eye socket, out another. Here and there you'll see where they've broken through some bones or have carried some bones along with them in their growth pattern. So whatever growth there was that was explosive, that happened so fast, does also seem to have spread very quickly through the entire place, not just the open areas.
Well, that's disturbing.
Seeds on dead.
Well, at least they won't have to worry about that land subsiding anytime soon.
I just start walking with my sword out from now on.
That's a good plan. I draw my axe.
I still have a loaded crossbow.
I mean, given that we're supposed to be down here to fight undead.
So as you continue to cover distance, you do eventually come to a crossroads where the tunnel that you've come into turns to the left and to the right, and both of them are just full of vines.
Like, no walking room?
No, like the same as this tunnel. There is not one definitive direction like, oh, the vines came from this way.
It's an action to cast it.
Yeah, I read that. Never mind.
Well, which way would you like to go?
Split the party.
No!
Bad idea.
Very bad idea.
I just go ahead and reserve you a mortuary slab while I'm at it.
But I love bad ideas.
Alright. Any... Does anyone object if we just go to the right?
No?
As long as we don't split up.
We go to the right.
Is, like, how tall is the ceiling?
Not much taller than you guys because the vines are on the top and the bottom.
Oh. The vines are fairly large.
Yeah, they're not small.
I want to take out a piece of chalk and mark one of the really big vines in the hallway that we came down.
It's a vine. Chalk does not really
Sure.
mark against it.
Damn.
I kind of follow what she's doing, and I take my sword and I slice in a line on the same vine.
Oh, thank you.
So, as you take the blade,
Oh, shit.
as you take the blade and cut into this vine for the first time that anyone has chosen to do that, there is a palpable, like, shrieking noise deeper in the caverns, conveniently to the left. And as this happens, the vine that you cut into whips out and then retracts rather rapidly. But in the process of whipping out,
Oh dear.
does an 18 hit
Oh.
you?
Yeah, that's definitely gonna hit me. And I'm not raging, so full damage.
3 points. As this thorny vine whips you across the face and then retracts at like lightning speed down the tunnel.
Okay.
Appears my jest about plant monsters was made too soon.
Lesson learned. No one strike the plants.
Maybe we
I
should go
suspect.
left.
Yes,
Why?
quickly, friends. Towards
Why
the
go
thing.
towards Scream? Why?
Well, we're down here to get rid of whatever is supposedly down here. I would assume that also means plant thing that screams.
Technically, we were contracted to deal with the undead.
My thought is, left seems like the path that we're supposed to go, so right is the path with treasure on it. That's out of character, by the way.
Alright. So,
If Callie is actively hiding, Callie can roll stealth.
yes, but what is she hiding in? More of the plants.
She can hide under me.
Fair enough.
She does have that racial.
Yeah, she's small. She can hide in the same space as me.
She can
Yeah,
hide in the
I can
same
hide
space as
behind-
everyone but Sana.
So I'm rolling. What did stealth?
Correct.
Yep.
Yes. Alright. We have yet to see any actual undead, but this thing's clearly trying to grow, and I'm not so certain that it isn't carnivorous in nature.
We were contracted to clear the tunnels of an infestation.
So, as you guys are having this conversation, Callie has vanished. She is gone.
It's taken her.
As if
Not only from space.
she never was here. She is a myth that was perpetrated by the rest of the party, and you're not sure she ever even came in the tunnel.
What?
You rolled a critical. You are gone. They have no idea what happened to you.
You rolled so well, you vanished from the narrative.
Where did she go?
Small one.
Golly. Did she get taken by the plant monster? Because if so, that would definitely need to move faster.
Nope, she hid. She used hide, and it was super effective.
Is she like essentially right under me right now and I can't see her?
No. That is
Oh, damn.
absolutely not where she is.
Well,
Excellent.
I can't see her. She hasn't said anything. I'm going to go on the safe side and assume that she's been abducted. We should move to the left and quickly.
Agreed.
I'm not going to explain how we lost the small waif.
Agreed.
I use my big
Left.
barbarian lungs to bellow her name.
Well, yes, the plant monster clearly.
So
knows
who
where
is in
we
the
are.
lead?
I don't want it to be me.
Fuck it, I'll lead.
It's probably going to be me.
Okay.
I'll lead with my mighty packs.
And who is following him?
I'll follow behind.
am.
Okay, so what is the marching order?
Uno!
Dose.
Dry.
And 4?
I'll go for.
And you're wrong. 4 is Callie, who has slipped up inside between Crennan's backpack and Crennan's back and is clinging to his armor. And she is completely obscured.
Okay.
Like, the only reason you even realize she's there, Sana, is that Crennan, somehow not realizing that he has a gnome or a halfling-sized backpack now, is walking just a little heavier.
So I can see her, or
Oh yeah,
I
you're
can-
like, huh? His backpack doesn't fit quite right. Huh? There's a halfling there. That's weird.
Found her.
Where?
Shh.
Start spinning.
Shh, what?
Not can say. She says
You
shh.
can't.
I'm not here. Shh.
At this point, Krenin, you realize the voice is like super close. Like weirdly close. Like close like when the Kringlekin speaks to you in your mind close.
I look back over my shoulder and ask, do they fall to madness?
No, it's all good.
Well, that's a crisis averted. We should still go left.
Yeah, let's just keep walking. Because this
Because you
place
have
is
been made
man-sized.
aware she is somewhere, Krenin, you can go ahead and make a perception roll to try to see her against her 28. You are very confused. You are very worried. And you think you might be losing a little in this weird green cave. But you're pretty sure the only way you get out is to keep going.
Sounds about right.
So because this place is man-sized and I'm the hugest one here and I'm leading, do basically none of them see anything that's in front of them except for like between my arms? There's just like a giant wall of muscly meat in the way.
It's the best place for the tanks to be.
I mean, that's not untrue. That's pretty close, yeah.
I'll try to keep my arms a little wide so you guys can actually see. Alright, let's fucking go. We'll just keep heading down the leftmost path.
So you walk a considerable distance, and you come to a part of the tunnel where things have started to change, in that the vines and such are starting to bloom.
This seems worrying.
Is
Like everything else here.
We must be getting closer to some kind of core.
fresh food.
I'm not fresh food.
Vines have fresh food.
All of
What
you
are they
can see they're
eating on?
starting to bloom. They are popping.
Are they pretty?
Yeah, I mean they're effectively like a rose style blossom. They're that kind of like nestled petals, and they are kind of a, for lack of a better word, lilac color.
Not recommend to touch.
No one picked the flowers. I'd rather not get slapped again. I'm gonna just keep sternly walking forward.
As you walk forward, you can make a reflex save.
Oh, fun!
So you're about to put your foot in it, and then you realize, and your foot goes slightly to the left,
It's a rug.
one of these petals, or one of these blooms, is about as big around as your foot on the ground, and it seems to open really wide as your foot is coming near, and then when your foot doesn't land, it closes again.
Care of the ground.
Knew it. They're carnivorous.
I really kind of want to light it all on fire, but that's a bad idea while we're here.
Yeah, we can do that after we leave. Let's not do that with us
Okay.
inside.
No, I like this plan. After we leave.
Alright, so from this point forward, let's proceed a little bit more carefully.
Oh, if only I'd been born an evoker.
If only I was level 2, so I had danger sense already.
So you continue working your way down this passage. And, like, you're equal parts struck by how weird this is and how strangely pretty it is as you realize that these blossoms come in all variety of colors, and you're almost walking down like a tie-dye tunnel of just these bright flowering plants. And this is also about the point you realize, Honeyahaka, being the one who doesn't have dark vision, that these vines are giving off some kind of phosphorescent glow. They are lighting this. And the drift globe and the conjured flame and all of that is no longer solely responsible for you being able to see where you're going.
The lights entice prey, I suppose.
What, they glow?
They must. My vision does not work as yours does, and I can still see.
That's interesting. I still wish to burn them.
As do I. With all this, they must have a water source somewhere beyond that pathetic lake above.
We're still making the assumption that these are natural. I do not believe that.
Krenin, roll
so.
perception.
Oh god! Hey, better than usual.
So on Honeyahaka's mention of the lake and being a dwarf and having some understanding of underground passages, you're like, oh, we went this way for a while, and then we made a left, and we went that way for a while. You realize that you are bearing, like, the way you're traveling will bring you directly under said lake.
Never mind. I take it back. It's pulling water from the lake. We're heading right underneath of it.
Look up involuntarily.
I'm a dwarf. Trust me.
Emboldened with a new courage, I say, so this is what corrupts the spirits above. I see.
Sure. We'll go with that. That's a working theory.
Think me wild all you want, dwarf. I have my certainty.
I didn't say what I thought of you, just that it's a working theory.
Let's keep going.
I'll go.
Okay, so we're dodging the carnivorous flowers, we're dodging this.
I'm just waiting for one of these vines to figure out it doesn't like me and just mush me.
I just kind of wonder if all the different colored flowers do different things.
They're probably just different shades of death, and at that point,
Well,
is it really a
sure.
difference?
I
Of course
mean,
it is.
It's kind of like asking, would you rather die by the blade or the hammer? Yes, it's different, but the end result is very much the same.
It's still interesting.
I mean, we can make all sorts of suppositions as we go along here. Along, you know, about the botany of death, I suppose. But I'm really not qualified to... I'm sorry.
Sun has seen many much worse plants than this. Much worse.
Then I do not envy Sana's path.
Apply fire to it. Best source.
Not while we are in here, but later.
It may come to that.
Keep going.
So you guys continue walking down this tunnel that you turned into until you empty out into a huge, seemingly naturally occurring cavern. And at the top of the cavern, Krenin, roughly where the bottom of the lake should be, you can see a huge hanging bud, like of a giant flower that is hanging from the ceiling like a stalactite. And this seems to be where all of the other vines are radiating from.
I think we found the source of the plants.
Yes, but it still doesn't explain what happened to all the undead.
This is prettier than undead.
Sana, go ahead and roll nature for me.
I mean, you don't confuse plant monster with undead.
Do the
True.
plants support these caverns?
No, they couldn't have. These are clearly a new thing.
Can I use one of my inspiration dice from the last session?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll take that roll instead.
Yeah. For the record, we should declare inspiration before we roll, because otherwise we devalidate the lucky feat. But, that said...
I totally blanked on it.
It's
I would have used it anyway.
So, you're sitting there and you're staring at this thing, and you have a moment of almost inspiration. You know it recoiled in pain when it was injured. You can actually see that length of vine has been drawn up close to like this central mass that is hanging. And you know it recoiled with pain, and as you have traveled this tunnel, you have seen other like bones and stuff that have been cleaved through by this thing. And you're knowledgeable enough about the natural world such as it is that you would assume that this one is in some way aware, at the very least, of its surroundings.
And it's, from my opinion, it's it's got pieces of what could potentially be, like skeletons and what have, wrapped
Yes.
in and part of it. Guys,
Yes.
this is not enemy for us. Not friend, but not enemy. It is feeding off of bones and bodies, whether it is in ground or walking. We not like it. It not like us. It's not enemy.
You say that, but it's eventually going to run out of food, and it's clearly trying to expand. And it will start taking the lives of probably refugees first, and if it's not stopped, there's no telling how far it will go.
Can we negotiate with it?
Has response to pain, like fish or bird.
Which means it's not going to stop. It's going to continue to seek nourishment. Yes.
But can be monitored, can be controlled, could, if more powerful, talk to, reason with, is not our enemy now. Let us deal with dead things, enemy now. Deal with this later. Let others decide.
Its rate of growth troubles me. There's no telling how far it's gone past the opening.
I trust Sana's expertise.
That does beg the question of where these undead are.
Maybe
Down
down
the
the
other
other
tunnel?
tunnel.
I've never been so cross to not have an enemy in front of me.
So, just to be clear, there are other vines other than the one that we cut that have been pulled back in.
Yes.
This is fighting elsewhere. These
Very well.
I start pointing out the vines that have Cody Finger's injuries on them.
Very well, then ironically I was right to go to the right.
It is fighting something.
I will
It
deal
is
with that
injured
first.
somewhere.
There's only one other way to go, so I got a long, long way back.
Care of the flowers again.
Yes. I still don't know where Callie is. I know she's with us, I just don't know where.
As you go to leave the cavern, the the vines that were around that hallway kind of contract and close the opening.
Oh, fuck you
Okay.
too, plant.
Maybe we need to reason with it now.
Let's let Sana do that.
I'm willing to let her converse with it. The second it looks like it tries to make a snack out of her, I'm going to be very cross.
Is there anything that I think that I can do, given that I don't have the spell to do that yet? I will try.
I will point out that
But-
no one has actually tried to talk to it.
I will go to Sylvan and try that. The language of the forest creatures, maybe it
Hey,
can understand that.
I know that.
Really?
Really what?
Oh, right, because Faye.
Yes.
So what are you saying to it? What is the actual...
Greetings, great and noble plant. I do not know your name, and I hope you can understand me, but can we talk?
So as you attempt to open a dialogue with this thing, the flower, like the pod in the middle, opens like a flower, and for lack of a better word, a face emerges from it.
Greetings. I'll walk up
Noble.
a little closer to it.
So this kind of, and when I say a face, it's like if flowers had arranged their petals to make a more appealing thing for a humanoid to look at.
So I'm seeing a face in the flower petals. Not
Yes.
that there's actually a face there. Okay.
And the petals kind of phosphoresce and boom out to, like, as it talks. So as the words come out, very Unicron in the Transformers movie for Malexia and Bolo.
Mm-hmm.
And it booms out in Sylvan. We are the Frelg of Caravan.
Knowledge Arcana?
I am Sana, servant of the Forest Master.
You can roll Arcana, I guess, technically. But you're going to need to roll really high.
So, not much hope, but I'll give it a shot anyway.
You can do it!
Nope.
So, yeah, you're like, that's nice. Why are we in this place, Sana, servant of the forest?
That is a good question. I do not have an answer to that. Nor do I recognize where you are from. You are trapped here, yes?
Discarded.
Do you know by whom?
There's a noise that you take must be a sigh, but coming from a plant, it comes across as more of like a long rustle.
Nice.
The world of men confuses us greatly.
How can we be of aid?
The Frelg take what they need from this place.
What is it that you need?
Once again, a noise that you think would be a laugh, but it's more of this rustling, the sound of these leaves and vines rubbing against stone, scraping.
I apologize for my ignorance.
What
I
all
ask.
what all flora require?
Food.
Yes.
You battle with the bones that walk, yes?
The bones that walk have been pacified. They are of the Frelg now. And
Does that
with
mean-
these words, there is a kind of a shambling noise as out of several passageways that were previously closed by these vines open, and there are skeletal remains that are sewn together with muscular tissue made of vines. And their ability to walk and move is entirely based on these vines that now thoroughly entangle their remains.
But I switch back to the comment. Then I just wait. Is there more food for you here? Or are we in a situation where you are going to seek it elsewhere?
Our sustenance remains in the land here, but will deplete if the world of men does not treat it better.
The world of men fear what is down here. That is why they have asked us to investigate, to find out what is going on. I do not know how they will react with what we have seen. Is there a way that peace could be maintained between the Frelk and the world of men?
Maintain the Frelg's food source.
Might I have a moment to converse with my companions?
Another rumbling, rushing noise of air vibrating between petals.
Thank you. He's definitely thinking plant.
Yes, the Frelg.
They have beaten the skeletons. It is their food. And absorbed the skeletons to themselves.
I think it's more like that they have beaten the skeletons into submission and incorporated their bones. Its food is like any other plant. It is in the ground. Well, most other plants.
It is not looking to make war, just wants to live.
True, but what it asks will require It would require a battalion of druids, from my estimation, and it's not not very expert one at that. The land above has been thoroughly beaten to death.
So it wants us to fix the land?
No, what it is said is that it will expand and look for food elsewhere once the food here is depleted, and it will be depleted unless the entirety of the free port of Owls decides to become
Cares.
more ecologically minded.
Care is taken to land to keep food of plants here.
Could we not tell the people in charge about this?
We do that, we're looking at a war between them and the Frelg, and I'm not certain, while I feel with enough time and effort the Frelg will lose. It will be a great number of lives on my conscience.
You mean you think they won't try to take better care of the land?
If we don't tell them, they're certainly not going to.
If we do not tell, we responsible. If we tell them, options open. Maybe they think possible.
Or they decide to come down and try to take matters in their own hand. The point is, we are not them.
Right, so we should tell them so they can make a decision.
Worse, they send us back.
Sana, can
Yes?
the plant do anything for them?
Can ask.
Yes,
Can I-
negotiations.
Can,
Can I roll again? To find out where she is?
Yeah, you can roll with advantage at this point.
Turn back to the plant face. Frog. If we speak with the world of men, and they are willing to help you change their ways, keep your food, what can you do to help them in return? If you would be so willing to comply.
If they make the surface able, the Frelg will bloom here.
They are going to ask me what that means. What should I tell them?
We will come to their surface and give of our flesh.
Turn back to the group. It says the vines will go to above ground, can be eaten. Food
like
for men.
strawberries?
Hmm.
Like strawberries? Or corn?
Not think like strawberries, but not sure.
Still,
Food
It
is
may be-
hard here.
this is a good bargaining chip.
If they take care of the... So if they take care of the land, it will take care of them.
That is what is offer.
Well, there's nothing left but to bring it back to, I suppose, the Admiral's court, as they seem to be the authority here.
Frelg, may we leave to speak with the world of men of this exchange you have offered?
One of the vines that had previously been pulled up against the larger structure enwinds, and it has, because Shokus isn't here, I can use this language. It's almost like a green tentacle, and it pops out of the end of it, almost like a a watermelon. Like it's some kind of melon. It's green. It's streaked with kind of reddish colored lines over its structure.
I will take it.
It's the sample.
Take this to your man meat. And you get the feeling and understanding it is not saying meat as in like food, but meat as in to meat.
Gotcha.
Ah, as in like an entmoot, as it were. Yes.
It's giving us samples.
Yes.
Is time go?
I agree.
I will start back towards the tunnel we came down.
I was prepared to fight.
As was I.
Food
It's
is
better.
much better.
Important question. Does it let us go?
Yes.
Thank you. Alright, the plan is I have just formulated in my head. We go speak to Angus, then we go speak to the court.
I will guard the buried treasure with my life. Just hold on tight to it.
Also, I still can't find Callie.
Something strikes me.
Hmm.
Your worlds have strawberries.
Yes.
Yes.
Perhaps we are more similar than I thought.
Doesn't everybody have strawberries?
All of us were brought from different worlds, no? Stands to reason that at least one of us might not have strawberries.
Ah, everybody has strawberries. Strawberries are good.
Odalin has strawberries, but there is some debate as to whether or not they were indigenous to our world.
So now we get to go backwards down the long hallway.
Yep. And make our way up the long stairs.
Don't
That's a
step.
good
Still
question.
not step on flowers. Still not a good idea.
Probably, yeah, exactly.
Can we climb out? Do we
Yeah,
have to
it's-
climb out?
It's arguably easier. It's almost like the vines are moving to make your life easier.
Nice. Nice.
Okay,
That's really
this is-
nice of them.
This is vastly superior. I approve.
So climb up and out.
I'm definitely going to suggest we get, like, we were not sent here to broker a deal with. Well, never mind.
So what is your plan?
We are going to speak to Argus, let him know what happened, and then we are going to see how we go about getting an audience with the Court of Admirals.
As we leave, does the open door and the vines that have poured out of it seem to have attracted any attention?
Yeah, there's a lot of people there, and there is like a police cordon crewed by rather rough-looking pirate sorts. And as you look around at these rather rough-looking pirate sorts, they are dressed in almost a uniform, in that they are all wearing like the same jacket, which is like a baton jacket, like an old-fashioned military coat that's short-waisted and they are all this kind of maroonish color with black piping. And as you come out, one of them, his jacket is several sizes too small for his rather sizable belly, turns and stares at you rather confusedly, and he's got some kind of big blunderbussy type gun in his hands.
I'm gonna pat some of the vines, hoping that the Frelg can still hear me. Frelg, I would caution you to withdraw if you are able, for the time being.
As you touch the vines, which no one has touched, which causes a murmur in the crowd. And then talk, the vines retract, and all of these rather rough-looking pirate sorts turn as the guy with the big belly levels said blunderbuss and says, "Oi! Who are you? What do you think you're doing there?"
I
What?
put myself between her and the gun.
Official team from the Explorers League on Explorer League business.
They look at you like you're retarded.
We need an
Don't
audience.
care.
At this, the rather rough-looking pirate sorts kind of turn, and they're in a big circle because they had formed like a police cordon, and kind of slowly begin to move in towards you.
No.
James, I'd like to attempt an intimidate roll.
Okay.
Actually, no. Never mind. Scratch that plan. We'll wait and see what Simon's about to say. Sorry.
No, stop. Please. I beg, stop. And I'll move to the actual entrance of the cavern. Sort of, not that I block much, but that's where I'll stand.
Okay.
These guys look like they're coming in to clobber us.
Way more like they're confused and kind of unsure what just happened. And for better or worse, you guys are the face of that problem.
I will step forward a little and I will go. It's okay. It's friendly, sort of. We want to negotiate for it. It has food.
I don't much care what you have to say. You can say it to the Admiral.
Oh, good.
And with that, several of these guys began approaching you with, like, big, heavy iron manacles.
We'll come peaceably. I don't think the manacles are required.
I don't need it from you. You just came out of a hole full of green.
Sent there.
I'm gonna put my sword back on my back.
Don't make this any harder than it has to be. As these guys attempt to cuff you guys.
How restrictive are those manacles?
You couldn't cast in them.
Do they have one sized for tiny people?
Yes, they do. It's not like little people are a rarity.
Can they see Callie?
That's the question.
Don't say anything. She's got her lockpicks ready.
It's the only thing we can do is come along peacefully.
I will actually put my
No, they
hands
cannot
out.
see Callie.
I
in
allow
such
myself to be manacled.
I allow myself to be manacled, but I'm going to try and hold on to the fruit.
You are
I allow
manacled in
myself to be
front of
manacled.
your body because, unlike modern security, they think that's enough.
Go along peacefully. It's kind of what we wanted.
So they start walking you a sizable distance. You actually cross two of these big suspension bridges, one onto an island covered in the same kind of obelisk-type pyramidal structures that were on the Akaten. But these ones have had holes blown in the side of it, and they look like apartment buildings. Like it looks like someone has filled them full of apartments. And then across another bridge to what you know to be the Admiral's Rock, which is where the court holds, court. And you walk across a second suspension bridge to what passes for a fortress here. It's a large keep, seemingly built of some stone that they brought in from somewhere that in no way looks local. and you are led into a... It's not even a throne room. It's like... It looks like it started its life as a random bunk room where they have drug a big chair into. And you're standing there, you're surrounded by these pirates in these kind of maroon uniform jackets who have at no point stopped watching you. And after a couple of minutes, a door that is about half size in the wall that you failed to notice previously opens, and a halfling comes walking out dressed in... Is he a halfling? Is it right? Yeah. Comes walking out dressed in head to toe this same kind of ruddy maroon color. And whereas all the other pirates you've seen are dressed like, stereotypical pirates with these weird environmental suits on, he is dressed much closer to like a modern survivalist or a character from Mad Max. Like his survival suit thing is a weird mishmash of parts and components derived from locations you can't even discern, and armor plates and things like that. And he's carrying the largest one of these flashlock weapons you've seen yet, which he kind of leans against the wall. And he clambers up into the seat. And he's sitting in this big chair, and he puts his arm up on the armrest, which requires him lifting his elbow above his head, and then leans his fist onto the side of his head. And he's staring at the collection of you. And he's little. He's a halfling. He's the size of Callie, who is clinging to Crennan's back. And he goes, "So then, what are you doing in the bowels of my island?"
We were sent there as members of the Exposed League to investigate reports of undead.
I don't care for your upstart imaginary Odalunian organizations. What were you really doing in the bowels of my island?
Exactly what I said.
I'm tired of the dwarf. Someone give me a better answer.
Exactly what the dwarf said. I kind of sneer.
Do you really think giving me a half-assed answer is going to mean I let you out of the chains and allow you to walk off this rock?
There is no other answer.
I don't care about you anymore, Man Mountain.
Different answer or more answer?
A better answer.
Explorers Meekman sent us in to seek undead. Not find undead, find plant called Frog from some other place discarded here, who has eaten undead and now lives there. Has offer to make to live in
Wait!
peace.
That's enough from you. Now then, the long ear. And he points at Leah.
Yes.
You continue.
Well, Sana there talked to the frog, and the frog said
Nope,
that
you use names. I'm done. The dragon.
If the little one spoke to the plant, The plant replied that it is going to run out of food soon, unless you do something about it. If not, it will continue to grow until it has destroyed everything you own on this island.
Your impertinence has been noted. Back to the dwarf.
Yes.
Have you not got the theme yet? You continue.
Oh joy. Very well then. As previously stated, the plant entity is going to expand in search of food and is going to wreak merry hell with everything you know and love until one of you is dead. Unless a truce is met, by which you cultivate the land and bring proper nutrients back into it, and it brings you food.
Hold up the melon.
Or you can kill each other. I have fulfilled any responsibility of my part concerning this.
He looks at the rather portly guy with the blunderbuss. Humphrey, crack a melon. And he kind of cracks it open with a big cleaver kind of hand axe. And you guys know the smell of freshly ground beef?
Yeah.
Yes.
That is exactly the smell that hits your nose.
Mm.
Oh god.
And so this portly guy is holding two halves of this melon that appear, to everyone tall enough to see them, to be full of ground meat.
What kind of melon is that?
One that should be cooked?
The human Humphrey, as you've now learned is his name, sniffs at the meat product in the melon and looks very confused. He carries it over to the admiral, who takes the half a melon, which is quite large for his little hands, and kind of looks at it confusedly, and looks at all of you, and looks at it, and sniffs at it. So you found a magic plant monster that makes melons full of meat?
Yes.
I suspect its repertoire is probably greater in scale than that. But yes, we found a sentient plant monster that makes melons made of meat. It is clearly using the materials it has at hand.
Might not be actual flesh.
Well, enough. Well then, I will speak to your plant monster and arrange terms. If you're not aware, which I'm not sure you are, being that you look colonial, meat is rather rare here, as are, well, many things. Assuming that I can come to terms with your meat-making plant monster, I will pay your Odalunian fiction organization an appropriate sum. Humphrey, have the men locked and send them away.
How will you speak with it?
Does not speak language of men.
Which languages does it speak?
Sylvan.
This won't be a problem.
Very well.
So you
Sure.
guys are unchained and escorted off of the rock and then kind of left to your own devices.
I need
This
to go
will
have a
go
chat.
bad.
Yes, this will go bad.
I'm not so sure. It clearly
Actually-
has something they want.
That is a good point. More
But will
importantly,
he share it?
Maybe not.
More of anything will spread through Island.
Such problems of men are easier to correct.
more importantly, it is not a problem we have a direct responsibility for. However, I need to go have a chat with Angus about what our jurisdiction is here if we're going to continue to do work on this island.
I thought he said they contracted us to go down there.
The Explorers League contracted us to go down there, but apparently the Admiral's Court believes that to be a work of fiction.
I'm gonna go with you because I want to be outside as little as possible.
I will go with 2. If can.
I will go.
Oh no, we're going to his office. We live there. It's not. I'm not going somewhere special.
Oh,
I'm
let's
just going
go.
to have it.
Come on.
Yes. Away we. Where are you?
Kali, out, come out.
But it's nice here. Kelly proceeds to crawl out from behind the pack and
Do you crawl down his back or over his shoulder?
over his shoulder.
So
that
yes,
she is now sitting on his shoulder with her legs hanging down, kind of tapping on his chest.
I will laugh.
Well, we found the
I-
gnome.
so as you guys make your way back to Docktown and to the warehouse where you understand the Explorers League to be, there is no warehouse there.
What?
There is, in fact, a perfectly square rectangular space that is completely cleared.
This doesn't look right.
I'm
I'm
we in
very
the wrong
glad I
part of
left
town?
nothing.
I'm about to be cross.
Where's all our friends?
There's nothing there.
Where'd
I
everybody
take-
go?
A really good look around to see if anything else has changed.
Everything else is exactly identical. And in fact, it looks like the warehouse was literally just picked up and removed.
And all the crates with it?
Yep.
I will fish my coin out from, like, hanging around my neck. Is it still there?
You go to fish out said coin. It is a smooth disc of metal. No markings of any kind.
Nah.
Motherfucker.
Guys?
I pull mine
Where's
out.
Trist? Where's the
They-
lizard man?
They all woke up and had left before you guys got up this morning. We said that at the beginning.
Okay. Sorry.
Trist is probably trying to make money somewhere off of his music. Turstaw is probably off hunting alley cats. Keeley is probably somewhere trying to convince people how important Keeley is. Dax is probably somewhere looming in a corner. But everybody else left.
Question.
Yeah.
He said that he would pay the Explorers Guild, which apparently no longer exists. So are we not getting paid?
Is mine blank like the rest?
The new one, yes.
I don't have the old one anymore.
You can make a perception roll for me.
Oh, you are
No,
really
you
doing well.
This thing's got it out for me. I don't know what to tell you.
It's not a 1. So, in the exact middle of the space, like if you drew an X in the middle of this large open ground space, there's a single coin faintly glittering.
I go and grab it.
As you pick up the coin and pull, a slip of paper comes with it.
I pick up the paper.
There are chicken scratch markings on it in a language you don't recognize.
But the coin is mine, yes?
Yep.
Let's see. I climb back. Oh, no, I don't have to climb. It's just I walk back to the rest of the group. Can anybody read this? It was with my old, and now, current Explorer League coin.
Oh,
Look
so
at the
you're
paper.
Explorers League. We're okay. We can get paid.
Yes. Although it is rather curious that yours...
I mean, I'll take a look at this thing, though I doubt I can read.
I'll look at it too.
All if I read Common and Ekayachi. I'm betting it's not one of those two.
Does anyone read Infernal?
No.
Not I.
Don't we have somebody who played a tiefling?
No, you do not have a tiefling.
Fuck.
We were maybe gonna have a tiefling. Other decisions were made.
I do have research, though, so perhaps I could research a translation? But Zarish
Oh, Zarish reads it. Okay.
So here you stand in the blasted open space where once you were, where once there was a warehouse. Very confused as to how exactly this has happened. And as it's coming to be evening, the other individuals who you had dealt with and were rooming with and were kind of in the same boat as you kind of start wandering in with the understanding of some kind of food can be found there and the realization that our house is gone. You see that sitting nearby is a human male in plate armor. He's got a big shield. The plate armor is kind of like a plate armor environmental suit, like you've seen lots of people wearing. And he looks at you and goes, "Spot a bother with disappearing buildings, is it then?"
Yes.
Tends to
That
happen here
happened.
from time to time. Mostly when new folk show up.
Why is that?
Why don't you join me for a pint and I'll try to explain. And he walks off in the direction of what you understand to be the Red Rock. And that is where we will end for the week. Because it is 11:30 and that's end time.
Whew.
I love Callie. I love everything about Callie.
I like any time a rogue rolls a natural 20. That's what I like.